Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 18th episode of SMY Podcast. Now, as usual, we are your hosts, Yash and Manu. And for today's topic, we've got something really interesting. So be sure to stay to find out. Now, just before we enter the main topic, I'd just like to mention something, and that is for the past 1.5 weeks we have been unable to post any new videos. This is partially because a lot of things have been going on in our school, in our school related stuff and events, and our personal lives as well. And I felt sick, so my voice wasn't that good to actually talk in the podcast. As you can see, I'm having a cough right now.
Yeah.
Right. So moving on, the topic for today's episode is something a lot of us have experienced, and it is very much relatable, and that is peer pressure, right?
Yes, peer pressure. Well, peer
Right.
pressure is normally pressure, right? We get from classmates or from colleagues. You see, this can happen to teenagers and adults, but it starts from the teenage age. Well, there are six main types of peer pressure, which are spoken, unspoken, direct, indirect, positive, and negative peer pressure. Well, we don't want to explain everything right now because that will make the video too long for us for this episode, actually.
We just like to keep it short and sweet, right?
Yeah, definitely. Short and sweet. Well, there are peer pressure. Okay, to keep it short, there is negative and positive. Yeah, that is the main thing we all have to know about. And
Exactly. Like, allow me to give you a scenario where your where you just did an exam and your friend scores higher than you, he gets a higher grade than you. And when the results are out, he gets to know the results and he says, all right, I'm challenging you to get a higher grade than me. So this can go two ways, right? First, it could lead to positive peer pressure, which gives the person who scored less a sudden boost in motivation to do good in the next exam. Or this could lead to the person who scored less to feel bad about their grades and feel guilty and have all these negative emotions surrounding them. And that is negative peer pressure.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Well, I would like to ask you, Yash. Well, before that, I will tell it myself. Have you been through peer pressure? Well, for me, no. I would say no. Um, I from recalling from primary to secondary right now. I'm secondary so far. Second year at secondary school. Well, there is no pressure at the school at my school right now. But who knows? But there are certain ways we can deal with it. But we'll get right into it. So, Yash, have you ever dealt with peer pressure, or have you ever encountered it?
All right. I have encountered peer pressure in my let's say 8 years of schooling, primary and secondary. I've encountered it 2 or 3 times, and I analyze the type of peer pressure, whether it be negative or positive, and then I act based on that. If it's positive, I let it be. If it's negative, I throw it away or try to understand the negative peer pressure in a different connotation in order to further benefit myself,
Hmm?
right?
Yeah.
Yes, so
So,
those are my encounters with peer pressure in my years of schooling so far.
so how do you think the our listeners can deal with it?
Well, it's quite simple. If you can identify peer pressure as being positive, go for it. I mean, listen to it. But the minute you know it's something which is negative, you should immediately try to either dump it away or try to understand it in a different connotation and show it to yourself in a different light, which can actually benefit you, right?
Yeah, true. Exactly.
I have a major announcement for our channel that I just like to say, and that is we shall soon we shall soon start streaming on Twitch, and we
Really?
will have an official Twitch channel. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, maybe we will start streaming on Twitch
right.
soon.
And
We'll
thing
try to
is
make it
to go
happen.
live on Twitch, right? We are working. We are trying hard to start a Twitch channel, and we are trying to do simultaneous streams between Twitch and YouTube. So you can choose whichever platform you want to come and watch us in, right? And we'll do these podcast episodes live and uncut in front of you.
Yeah, uncut, raw.
Yeah,
I,
like the blooper episode, you would see that but live. It's the same thing.
yeah, exactly. Well, this wraps up for today's episode, and thank you so much for staying until here. And do leave us a comment on what do you think of this episode. Hope you guys got a thing or two from this year,
Right.
from this episode. Yeah, stream us on Spotify, watch us on YouTube, and stream us on Apple
Follow us
Podcasts.
on
Look,
Instagram. And do not forget, we will be having a Twitter account very soon.
yeah. Bye bye.
Bye.